South Africa take on Bangladesh in the Test series, two-match Test series, and the first one will be at Durban, which starts on Wednesday, 31st of March, 2022, at 10 South African Standard Time. It will be in Durban, as I said. What do we expect with regards to everything? Well, we are going to be chatting about this particular game on today's show, and we're going to give our insight into who we think should be selected for the team, and we'll also be chatting about how we feel South Africa should go about this test and how they can start off on a quicker um, in a in a lot quicker and a lot better manner than they have in the previous games. Particularly in the previous series against New Zealand as well as against India, they've had a slow start and then came back in the second game. Now we don't want that against Bangladesh. Um, we want to go and give ourselves the best opportunity to win this match, and winning the first game will always do that. So we'll be chatting about the first test, this test series as a whole, particularly a lot more about the first test as well as Durban and what we expect at this particular venue. But if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, because I think 40% of you are watching the videos without subscribing. So if that button is still red, please click that button. Please click that notification bell as well, so you can get updates on all future videos that we post, upload, and when we go live on the stream on this channel as well. Also, don't forget to smash the like button. That's the best way for us to get into recommended feeds. So smash that like button. Also comment. Also share. It helps us a lot. Please do so, guys. It's 100% free, so I don't know why you don't want to. Then become a patron too. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Go ahead and become a patron today. We are starting to build a nice patron following. The better we grow, the more we grow, the more shows we can do, the more exclusive content we can provide for you guys. So please go ahead and get involved with the Patreon account. The super chats are on if you want your questions to be read out on the show, or you want your statements to be read out on the show, or your teams to be read out on the show. That's what the super chat is for. So the super chat is on. Go ahead and give your super chats, and that's how we will make sure that we will read out your content and your whatever you want to say on the show. Cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates, please, guys. That will get updates on all matches, news, anything that has happened recently. Like, for example, we got an exclusive couple of quotes from Laura Wolfart to speak about her number one ranking. So go ahead and check that out as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's content. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is my co-host, Aditya, and today we're going to be discussing the first test between South Africa and Bangladesh that will be taking place in Durban. So let me just read out some things that you can get to know a little bit more about the match and what's taking place. The match will be on Wednesday, 31st of March at 10 o'clock South African Standard Time. It will be at Hollywood Bets Kingsmead Stadium in Durban, which we know is going to most likely be. In the past, it's been a lot slower, etc. But when it comes to this particular couple of days, the weather is expected to be quite hot. So particularly on days 1, 2, 4, and 5, it's supposed to be about 25 to 29 degrees, so dry with sunny intervals over the course of those days. But there is rain expected on day 3, unfortunately. So I hope that doesn't come to fruition and that doesn't happen, and that we have a full 5-day test match, because Durban, it's about time that Durban get a full test match at the venue, because they don't really get many tests. And us as fans, we would like to see it as well. In South Africa, it will play on SuperSport and SABC. So please keep an eye out on that. The last time these two sides met, South Africa won by an innings and 254 runs. So it's very important that South Africa go ahead and dominate again. They would like to, but I feel that they need to look away from what happened previously and look new. Let's go into this match with a new, fresh mindset and a focused mindset, and focus on our game plan. And that's mainly what I feel that we need to do. But yeah, let's get into the discussion, Aditya. It's interesting to see this match. I'm going to be excited to see this match. I know, guys, that the IPL is happening currently, and it looks like Aiden Markram's on track to scoring a masterclass. Hopefully, I hope I didn't jinx him right now, right here. But let's watch him and let's have some fun watching him bat as well. Hopefully, he does well. But we want to bring you this preview. It's the best time for us to bring it to you at this time. So here we go. Okay, South Africa is going to need to start off quickly. Now, let's talk about some of the players that are going to make that happen. I think if South Africa bats, it's the batting that's going to really, I think, determine the outcome of this match, in my opinion. Now, that's because I'm not as worried of the bowling attack as others may be. I feel that these players have the right mentalities to be able to carry this bowling attack, at least carry the team, get a decent defend decently and take wickets. I think there's enough talent in that bowling attack to do so, to do what we need, and to do what Dean Alga has requested, which is taking 20 wickets, of course. But I think that the matches will be won with a bat, and particularly I think the opening partnership. I think that is going to determine whether South Africa will be successful in the series or not, or it might not determine that, but at least it will give South Africa its best chances of being successful in the series. So I think Dean Alga and Sadal Earvis opening partnership is going to be so key. But then we also have to look at the guy like Keegan Peterson, who's in red hot form. And we have to look at a guy like also Calvarena, who's in red hot form as well. So there are a couple of guys that are. And if you look at the averages when it comes to the last 10 games, 8 games, Temba Bavuma is averaging quite high as well. So he's also a key player. He's averaging about 45 in the last 8 matches. So he's looking good as well. So we're going to need him to step up as a senior player. But it's Bangladesh I'm worried about because we don't know enough about this team. Now, yes, we do know a lot about, for example, one of the players that I really enjoy watching is Liton Das, a very talented player. In the last 10 matches, he's averaging 52.69. So he's in a very good form currently, and he's going to be a dangerous player. Um, Manamul Haq as well, averaging 48 in the last 10 as well. Um, very dangerous. But there's a youngster that we need to look out for as well, and that is Shoriful Islam, who is averaging 46 in 3 matches. Very talented player as well. So we will see what the lineup's going to be from a Bangladesh perspective. With the bowlers, they've got a dangerous bowling attack as well. We need to look out for them. Islam as well. The other Ismail, Tajul Ismail, very good economy rate. Um, and he's in good form as well as Hassan Miraz, Mehdi or Mehdi. It depends how you want to pronounce it. Hassan Miraz, very talented as well. So we're going to have to look out for those type of guys. Those are some of the names that I'm mentioning that I think are going to be very, very dangerous and are going to be South Africa need to look out for. But Aditya, from a strategy perspective and from a mentality perspective and approach, how does South Africa guarantee that they can get a good start in this test series? Because I think that's what they are all aiming for.
Well, they do need to get the basics right. If they're fielding first, they want to be hitting the stuff straight away. You want to be catching well. You want energy in the field. The bowlers need to be bowling tight lines and lengths, and you want to ensure that Bangladesh are not able to rotate strike. So I think stringing maidens as much as possible will be key. I think we saw in New Zealand that in that first Test match, I can't remember the number, but the South Africans didn't bowl too many maidens, and that really, as Dean Elgar said, that they were able to sort of score both sides of the wicket, which was frustrating from his captain. Assuming South Africa bat, then you got to make sure that it's a 300, 330 kind of day. You want to ensure that you've got a solid first innings total, and you're able to sort of dominate, scoring a minimum of 300 runs on that first day.
Yeah.
so that you can impose pressure, bat once, and bat Bangladesh out of the game.
And I think if South Africa just stick their heels in and really grind it out and frustrate Bangladesh, they have the opening partnership to do that. They have the opening pair to do that. So it will be very interesting to see what happens with the batting attack. I think the batting attack is probably, I'm not so worried either about it because I think two, you would say probably most out of form test batters are not available. So Rassie van der Dussen and Aiden Markram are the two batters that some people may be saying that question marks are hanging over them in the test arena. Even though Rassie has been hot and cold in test cricket, those are the two batters that people probably have question marks over in the test lineup, and but they're not available. So it's going to be interesting to see what this new batting lineup can do. This young, fresh batting lineup can do. The big question is going to be who they're going to play in that number 4 position. And for me, I think Ryan Rickelton needs to play. Uh, I don't think that Kai Zondo is the right choice because I don't see him as a future player for South Africa in the test arena. It's either for me at the number 4, if they're going to stick around with someone like Rassie van der Dussen, then it's Rassie, um, Ryan or Zubair Ramza, whichever one you decide you're going to pick between the two. Those are the guys that are supposed to be in that number 4, number 3, like number 4 position. So it's very important that we see. I would like to see Ryan Rickelton play, and that's my personal choice to see come in. Um, I really don't. I really think that he deserves it right now from being in squad to squad, and he's extremely talented. And I think he can really put pressure on the Bangladesh batters. He's coming off very good red or very good four-day cricket form, but it's been quite a long time since he's played some proper competitive long format cricket because obviously he's been with the Proteas for quite some time now, not playing games. So hopefully he's still fresh. Let's talk about that particular before we get into the bowling attack from South Africa's perspective. What is your thoughts on that, Aditya? Who do you think should come into the batting lineup now that Aiden and Rassie are out?
Well, Ryan Rickelton should definitely be there, and whether or not they pick Kaya Zondo is is a matter of debate. But he certainly has the numbers to get in there. But I mean, there's no way that Ryan Rickelton cannot play this test match. If he doesn't play this test match, then I don't know when he'll make his debut ever.
Yeah. If he doesn't, then I don't know. You're right. I mean, he's done enough this season to. If you can give Marco Janssen an opportunity, and I know there's maybe a bigger opening in that position, maybe for in South African cricket than others, and we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, Kai Zondo this season. I mean, you need to look at the. I feel like you need to look at the stats a little bit closer. When you're looking at the top run scorers this season in the 4-day competition, there are quite a few guys that maybe have missed out, maybe when it comes to test selection, when it comes to this, and yet we are still seeing them trusting players that are a little bit older. You know, even though there are youngsters maybe that are performing better than some of these matured players. I mean, Zondo's already 32. I mean, do they really see a future for him in Test cricket? Um, I don't understand the reasoning behind this. Of course, it is. A lot of people will say it's because, obviously, because of the quota requirements, etc. Um, I'm looking at it in a different way because I think they've been looking at the stats, and maybe they've been filtering it by averages. I'm thinking, and if you do so, then the highest average in the tournament so far is Zondo. So that is something that we need to obviously accept. But when you look at his first class average, if I can just get it up quickly, um, I never went to Click Archive to go check it over there, unfortunately, because that will split it up. But it's not really splitting it up from a other perspective. It's not splitting it up from a team per team perspective, unfortunately. So yeah, I can't really look at it from that perspective, and I'm trying to find out. Let me just find it here quickly. Overview. Internet's a little bit slow, but yeah, when I look at the 4 day competition, I just want to look at the 4K 4 day competition stats to see who else is there in line, because who do they go past or look over when it comes to the selection process, and when it comes to that particular when it comes to the selection process of picking that player that's going to be replacing Zubair Hamza, because that is a massive blow. I think Zubair would have probably played. Um, uh, huh? I don't understand. What? Surely, Khalid, as always, you are very honest, and like you said, Zonda does deserve it. Good job. I think, when did I say? Okay, anyway. Make up your own stories if you want to make up your own stories. Live in your own fantasy land if you want to live in your own fantasy land. I'm not going to buy a ticket to that movie. I'm sorry. And I'm a big movie fan. I'm not buying a ticket to that movie. Okay, so let's move on from that. I just want to look. I'm still trying to find these bloody stats on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I can find it now. It's just so slow, unbelievably slow. Everything. Um, Okay, here we go. So one person I think they did overlook maybe is Peter Malan. But okay, yes, he's an opponent of his year. He scored 601 runs this season. David Bellingham, we know our thoughts on that. But the next best batter this season has been Ryan Rickleton. So he should be next in line. If the first two are not, you're not looking at the first two, he should be the next in line, Ryan Rickleton. Joshua Richards has had a good season. You see, when you look at the averages overall, and you probably filter it by average, then Zondo will be high because he averages 73 this season in 5 games, but he only has 1 century and 100. Um, one double century and 150. Sorry. So that has boosted obviously his average really high. And when you look at the stats, that's probably how they've been looking at it, and that's why maybe he's in line compared to someone like Tony Rizorzi. Um, for me personally, I think Tony Rizorzi should have been there. He averages 49 this season with 103 50s. I see that 350s is important because it shows more consistency in the season. I want to see more scores being scored. I want them to look at players a little bit more in detail and not just at averages. So they need to look. I have a problem with the way they select players, because I feel that with every single person that they select should be thinking about the future. That should be their mindset. Every single time they select a player, they should be thinking about, not about plugging gaps, but thinking about the future. And I don't think they did that with this test selection. Um, and I'm a bit disappointed about that, but I hope that Ryan Rickleton plays. Um, Okay, let's move on to the bowling attack. Aditya, the bowlers is going to be interesting. Now I'm going to pull up the bowlers on the screen so that we can see the whole squad and have a proper discussion and think about this actually properly. This is the ODI squad. Oops, sorry, my bad. This one. So we've got Darren de Pavlan, we've got Dwan Olivier, Lutus Pamela, Clinton Steerman, Lazard Williams, Vian Mulder as an all-rounder, and 2 spinners in Simon Harmer and Keshav Maharaj. Now we are still unaware, or we are still not. It's not known what the conditions are going to be like, and we need to know what the conditions are going to be like so that we know whether 2 spinners will be played. I'm thinking of a batting lineup of Dean Elgar, Sarel Eervier, Keegan Peterson, Temba Bavuma, Ryan Rickleton, Carl Verreynne, and then having Vian Mulder, Darren de Pavlon, um, Dwan Olivier, Lutus Pamela, and then between Clinton Steerman and Lazard Williams, and then a spinner, of course, you need to also think about as well. So it's going to be very interesting what they're going to do. 6 or 5 batters is going to be important, what they're going to do with regards to that. They could pick 6 batters. They could pick six batters very easily and then play an all round in Vian Mulder. And then they need to choose between their bowlers because they've got quite a few bowlers over here. They've got five seamers that they need to pick from. And they're going to need to decide how they're going to pick that because if they're going to play three or two, it's going to be very important. What would you do, Aditya, when it comes to Durban? Um, I'm thinking that maybe if they're bowling, if the wicket's looking good and there's a little bit maybe the wicket's looking good and Seam is going to play its part, then we're going to need some pace. And Darren de Pavlin's like the only guy that probably will can provide that pace.
Yeah, I think I'd pick three seamers and two spinners. So I would pick Simon Keshav, and yeah, I think Darren Pavlo would be there. Duan Olivier carrying on from the previous Test series, so I suppose he would feature in that as well. Um, and then perhaps Clinton Stearman, because again, it would be nice to give him some sort of continuation, continuity. Sorry.
Because I mean, I feel for a guy like Lutus Pamla who hasn't done that bad at all in Test cricket when he's been called upon. My concern is he fits a bowling attack when there is pace in the bowling attack. Now South Africa's losing all their pace. Dwan Olivier is not quick, and that's my concern. If Dwan Olivier was still bowling at 144, 140s consistently, then I wouldn't necessarily be as worried. And I think we need to add some space into this attack. I'm a bit worried that we don't have a lot of pace in our attack. So for me, I mean, Dan de Pavilon, I think he brings that pace. Um, Even a guy like Lazard Williams brings some extra pace. Stearman as well, but I mean, Stearman is more of a consistency bowler, getting wickets with the new ball. But for me, if I had to choose between Olivier and Dwan and the Pavilion for this particular match, I will pick the Pavilion. First and foremost, it's his home ground. Second and foremost, he has the pace, and we desperately need some pace. So I will pick the Pavilion in my 11. And dependable on the conditions. Now that's going to be important. It's very difficult for me to pick a team if I don't know if the conditions are going to spin or not. But if it's spinning, I will play two spinners. Definitely, I will go with Keshav and I will go with I will go with Keshav and I will go with Simon Harmer. So that will be my idea. That will be my preference. Now, what do I think is going to happen? That's a different story. What do I think the probable 11 is going to be? Not the 11 that I want, I think. But I think that the probable 11 will be probably closest to what Lorenzo has put over here in the comment section, actually. Alga, Irvia, KP, Bavuma. Unfortunately, it's going to look, according to some sources, it has looked like they are favoring Zondo. So Zondo, Verena, Mulder, Harmer, Keshav, Olivier, and Stearman. I think this does look like the most probable team. Like I said, me personally, I will go with Ryan Rickelton. Whether we need Vian Mulder, now Vian Mulder has come off 100 domestic level. So it's not like it is like he is in current form. He's currently quite in form. So I would have perhaps risked it. If Vian Mulder wasn't in the form he was with the bat, I would have probably risked it and maybe played Dwan Olivier and not have that extra batter. Maybe I might have tested that as an option and trust my top six as much as possible, and maybe go with an extra because Simon Harmer can bat a little bit. I'm sure he can put on the scores that Vian Mulder has been putting on recently. I think Simon Harmer can do a job like that at the international level. Do you understand what I mean? So I would maybe risk it, but I think that in hindsight and on paper, you want an all-rounder in number 7 position. And that's what we want. And the all-rounder that is there is Vian Mulder. So he's coming off good form and hopefully he can perform. What do you think about that? Without the pace, Aditya, in the team, what do you think about is South Africa desperate for that pace? Do they really need that pace in their side? Will it be a mistake to leave someone like the Pavilion out?
They do need as much pace as they can get. So if Darren Polo is the fastest bowler in that in that team, then he needs to be in there, because that's South Africa's X factor. You can't take that out of a South African test team and expect them to have that same effect. Um, it's Keshav is brilliant. Simon Harmer is great. He's very confident. But will they really trouble Bangladesh? Is the question, right? Because Bangladesh plays spin, 400 days in the year. So that's that element of unpredictability that needs to be there. And in my view, pace would be the way to go. But then it's determined by conditions and the balance of the team.
Because I mean, like, look here. I mean, Kaz only averages 31 in 132 matches, 213 innings. He only averages 31. Now, I've seen signs of it. He only has 13 hundreds and 30 50s. So, um, it's something that, like, there have been some innings that I've watched from Kaya and I was like, wow, unbelievable. Really great knock. Like at Newlands, for example, I've seen him put on some great performances. And he also knows the conditions quite well in Durban, so that also maybe gives him extra information for him personally. It probably gives him a little bit more confidence. So if they do play him, I will support, because I will always support the team that is selected, no matter who they select. But I do believe that, or I do think that Ryan Rickelton deserves an opportunity. But let's move on from that discussion, because we've just been speaking about that. I agree with you, Aditya. I mean, if Darren Pavlin is the fastest and quickest bowler in that team, in that squad, he should be playing. South Africa desperately in need of wickets and in desperately need of pace. Don Oliveira has been the top wicket taker from a pace perspective in the country. As a fast bowler, he is sitting on 29 wickets in 5 matches at domestic level. So Siporto's done well, Nabe's done well, Potgieter's done well this season, with 21 wickets. Corbin Bosch has done well this season. And when you look at where Glenton Steerman is, he only played 4 matches, but he took 16 wickets, with the best of 6 for 93 and 5 for 34 in the first innings, best first innings. So he's bowled exceptionally well this season, Glenton Steerman, even though he's hardly played. But Sipamla as well, 17 wickets in 4 games. Darren de Pavlon, however, in this season, maybe not the same type of season that we've seen from him, but we do know that players do dip sometimes and go out of form and then come back. He played 6 matches and he took 13 wickets this season in 6 matches. So he's played more than the others, like Glenton and Luto. But the difference with Luto and Glenton is that now they have test experience. So that's the difference. So it's now up to South Africa to decide what weighs more, like, what counts more, and is it test experience or is it form, and they need to find a balance over there. But to me personally, I think that we need to have pace in that lineup. It's very important that we do. So yeah, I hope South Africa wins this match. It's going to be very important that they get their heels stuck in here and they play their natural game. Like Dean Alga said, they need to focus on themselves. They need to focus on what they can produce. And let's see how South Africa perform. It's not going to be an easy task. It's going to be a difficult challenge, I think. But let's see what South Africa do in the first game. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can dish out on Thursday. The women will also be playing in the semi-final on Thursday, 3 a.m. in the morning, South African Standard Time. So very excited about that too. Another good performance would be excellent. To beat England again will be excellent and rewrite the past. So that's very important that they do so. And yeah, Aiden Markram currently doing exceptionally well. And against a bowler or nightmares past, or ghost of nightmares past for him. A ghost of bowlers past, I would say, from him.
Did you see the ball before this mate? It was a 6 over extra cover.
I saw that, yes.
My goodness, bro. That was crazy. Yeah. I mean, the team is getting hammered, but, good for Aiden and good for my
very, very good for Aiden. That's exactly what we wanted for him, to go over there and just let loose.
Smash it.
And just be confident and get that confidence up. And I mean, Chahal, I'm talking about Chahal. He completely would have been in the back of his head when he made his debut as a captain for ODI in ODI cricket against you guys in South Africa when I met you, by the way. So Child took us to the cleaners, him and Kuldeep. So it's good to see him take on this bowler, someone that he wasn't very comfortable with before, a very talented bowler. Um, Crazy man. He bowls quite quickly for a spinner. Runs up quite quickly as for a spinner. You think he's going to be bowling slow deliveries, but he's coming up here with that spin.
He can
Like amazing bowler.
Jael can actually bowl exceptionally slowly. That's his beauty. Like he can be exceptionally slow.
Yeah.
But I mean, fantastic. I'm very happy to see Aiden. Uh, I'm very happy to see Aiden play the way that he is.
Yeah, and it's good to
Excellent.
see him struggle to get to this point because
Yeah,
that's how you really get off the nerves.
yeah.
Because when you are struggling out of form and you struggle to get back into form, I think that's a lot better for you personally because it's more of a hurdle. You feel the more of the relief if you struggle to get over the line than if you're just bashing quickly and you think you're back in form and then you go out again. So it's good to see him play this type of knock, difficult, tough knock. I think
The
that's really
partnership
important.
is 43 of 16 balls,
Sure, unbelievable.
and
But
this
that's
is an
obviously because of
international
his
attack.
strike
Eh?
partner as well.
Yeah, of course. But you look at the attack. You've got Prasidh Krishna, India international player, Trent Bolt, Nathan Coulter-Nile, and Chahal.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. But let's go enjoy that, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button. Please, the one request I have from you guys is to please put your teams, the team that you would like to see play in the comment section after this game, after this video is being completed. All your 11s I would like to see over there. Trevor, Bibik, Statham Gaming, I don't know, OM, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, Herman Locke, all of you guys in the comment section. Please put your Lorenzo, all of you guys, put your teams in the comment section. I would really like to see what you guys have selected for this particular first match. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and do all of those things. Cricket Fanatics Magazine. Subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. The link is in the description. Subscribe to the Patreon account. Become a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. Subscribe to the magazine. As I said, we are publishing the next issue tomorrow. Smash the like button, comment and share. Do all of those things, please, guys. And also visit cricketfanaticsmag.com. That's where you'll get all your updates. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for another daily show. The daily show tomorrow will be our exclusive interview with Dean Alga. It is pre-recorded, guys, because we can't obviously get him on a show before a game. But that will be our daily show tomorrow. So please go ahead and have a look at that and watch that and have a little bit of a discussion about what you guys are seeing and what Dean Alga has to say. So to all of you guys out there, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for supporting us every single day. I'm hoping that we can get more people to the streams. We are so close, 20 away from 3,000, guys. So please get your people to subscribe. Please get everybody to subscribe. We really, really will appreciate to hit that 3,000 mark. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace.